What's going on, everybody out in YouTube land, and welcome back to another episode of GBA. In this episode, I kind of want to talk about the Nintendo Switch Lite. I just recently picked one up, and I kind of want to compare it to the regular Switch version that came out back in 2017, and what I think of the two, and should you own both. Unfortunately, I can't really talk about the second revision of the Switch that came out recently, because I don't have one and I've never played it. But from what I'm understanding, the biggest difference between the two is that the newest Switch has a better battery life. If that is it, then I'm pretty much right. But if there is other differences, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Because like I said, I haven't played it and I do not know. So yeah, if you look at the title of the video, I just recently picked up a Switch Lite. And I'll tell you the reasons why I did it and why I have two Switches currently. The main purpose I did this for is because I wanted to keep my original Switch docked to my TV at all times. I didn't want to take it out and put it back, take it out and put it back. I just want to leave it there so I can play it like a console on the TV. So when I bought the Switch Lite, that can allow me to do that because now I can have the Switch Lite with me on the couch if I want to play handheld, or if I want to play on the TV, I can just play off my regular Switch. Now, I know to some that might sound kind of crazy, but it fits in with what I want to do. So that's mainly the purpose why I bought the Switch Lite. Also, I wanted to just get my hands on it and see how it played and see which one I actually like better than the other. Because there are some pretty big differences between the Switch Lite and the regular Switch. So yeah, guys, first of all, if you see me look down at any point in this video, I did put some notes on some paper so I can make sure I don't miss any of the points that I wanted to talk about in this video. But first, let's go ahead and show you the two consoles. I'm going to show you the regular Switch and the Switch Lite. I'm also going to show you the two boxes that I have too, the retail boxes, the Switch Lite box and the Switch box. So let's start with the boxes. I'll show you guys the Switch Lite box first. I went with the blue version of the Switch Lite. So yeah, here this is. I was going to get the regular gray Switch Lite, but to be honest with you, I got the gray version of the regular Switch. I didn't get any of the neon Joy-Cons, and later on I kind of regretted that. I actually liked the colored Joy-Cons, but at first I didn't. So I went ahead and got the blue one because I've seen this blue on plenty of videos, and I like the way it looks. It's a very nice blue. But yeah, so here's the box for the Switch Lite. Here's the back of the box. Top of the box. Those are your sides. And then the bottom. I was going to do an unboxing of this, but to be honest with you, I figured at this point there was so many unboxing videos on YouTube it would be kind of pointless. But yeah, so that's the box for the Switch Lite. Alright, so now my box that I got back in March of 2017 for the regular Switch. Here's the back. Top. Bottom, and the back, which I'm sure you guys have seen this plenty of times. I just wanted to kind of show it because I want to kind of compare the two. So obviously right off the bat you can tell the biggest difference between the two is size, which to be honest with you, when I first saw the Switch Lite in the store, I was actually kind of shocked at how small the box was. But yeah, so those are the differences in boxes. You can tell there's definitely a big size discrepancy in the boxes. Mostly because the Switch Lite doesn't have to have the dock and several other things. But yeah, so there's those. Alright guys, so now we'll go along to the actual Switches themselves. So I'll show you guys the Switch Lite first. So this is my blue Switch Lite. And as you can see, that color blue really pops. I like it with the white buttons. Here's the back. Here's the top of it, where you can see the shoulder buttons and the triggers and the side. So it's definitely still very thin, just like the regular Switch. And you've got your game cartridge slot on the top, along with your power and volume. On the bottom, you have your charging port and your port for SD cards to expand the memory. Because like the regular Switch, this only has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which I really wish Nintendo would do something different. I'm hoping if they release a Switch Pro, they'll put a lot more storage in these, because 32 gigabytes this day and age just doesn't do it. But yeah, so there's the Switch Lite. I haven't put a screen protector on here yet. That's one of the first things I want to do. I stopped by GameStop and I didn't see any in there, so I might just buy some online. Alright guys, and here is my original Switch that I got at launch. So there's the front view, back view, top, and bottom. And once again, this is pretty basic, basically about the same. You have your card slot on the top, volume up and down, power. And then on the bottom you have your charge port, and you have the SD card slot is underneath the kickstand. So yeah, as you see, they're built kind of the same way. A lot of the like the power buttons and stuff like that are in the same spots. But let's go ahead and do a side-by-side here, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of the difference in size. I mean, really, overall, the Switch Lite, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot smaller in general than the Switch. But when you're actually playing, you can tell a pretty big difference. So yeah, that's the two Switches beside each other. And I'm sure you guys might notice that I have the jungle green see-through Joy-Cons here, which those aren't available in retail. I actually bought the kits for this online, and I took apart the Joy-Cons and changed them out myself. So it does make it kind of unique that you get Joy-Cons that not everybody has. And I really like the jungle green. That's like my favorite Nintendo 64 variant, so that's what I went with. But I must tell you, it is a nightmare taking these Joy-Cons apart and putting them back together. There are a bunch of little parts in there, and it's not easy. And I kind of regretted it when I started, but you know, at that point in time I had to finish. There wasn't no reason to go back. And unlike some, I have not had any problems with my original Switch. Like I said, I bought this in March of 2017. I haven't had no Joy-Con drifting, no warping, no cracking, you know, no issues whatsoever. The screen, I haven't had no problems with getting scratches on it because I put a screen protector on it day one. Like I said, I haven't had no issues with this at all. So I really love the Switch. It's one of my favorite systems currently, and probably of all time, to be honest. So yeah, guys, I do want to start talking about some of the differences and things I like about the Switch Lite compared to the regular Switch. Number one, obviously price. You know, the Switch Lite is $200 while the regular Switch is $299. So obviously if you're on a budget, the Switch Lite is a good option because it's $100 cheaper. Also, the Switch Lite weighs a little bit less than the regular Switch. So the Switch Lite, it weighs, I mean, if you look at the specs, it's not a whole lot of difference, but when you're actually playing, it does feel like quite a lot. So I do like the fact that the Switch Lite does weigh less than the regular Switch. Some of the other things that the Switch Lite has going for it, in my opinion, is that the Switch Lite is more compact. It's easier to take it places because, as you know, the Switch is a portable system, but it is kind of bulky for a portable system. So this is much nicer if you're going to take it with you somewhere. Better battery life. The Switch Lite has a better battery life than the original Switch release. Like I said, though, the second revision of the Switch does have better battery life, but we're just comparing the ones that I have. So that is nice that this has a better battery life. Also, another thing I like about the Switch Lite is the color options. For the Nintendo Switch, you didn't have that. You could obviously change the colors of the Joy-Cons, but the system itself, there was no color variations. Whereas the Switch Lite, you can get yellow, blue, gray, or they have that Pokemon Special Edition that's coming out as well. Another thing that I like personally while I was playing the Switch Lite compared to the regular Switch is the Switch Lite honestly feels a little bit more sturdy. And when I say that, it's because, with the detachable Joy-Cons of the regular Switch, they're on that metal railing that you can take them off and put them back on. And even though it's sturdy, when you're playing, it does give a little bit. So it kind of feels like you could almost break these Joy-Cons off. Where the Switch Lite, the Joy-Cons are a part of the system. You can't take them off. So that automatically just makes this feel a little bit more sturdy while you're playing it. So some of the things the Switch Lite is missing that the regular Switch has. So first and foremost, the most notable thing that a lot of people talk about is TV mode. So the Switch Lite cannot connect to a TV. So that's where the Switch does have the advantage. You can dock the Switch and run it through your TV and play it like a regular console, where the Switch Lite is basically a standard handheld system. So you cannot connect this to your TV. Another thing that it's missing is there is no tabletop mode for the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite is missing the kickstand. As I said before, the Switch Lite has the kickstand on it, to where you can set it on a table, remove the Joy-Cons, and play, using this as your actual TV, kind of, on a table or whatnot. The Switch Lite does not have that. No kickstand, no tabletop mode, no detachable controllers. So the Switch Lite does not have motion controls either. Now that's not a huge loss for me personally because I don't really use motion controls that much. But I do know a lot of people do like the gyro controls in the regular Switch, just not me. So it is of note that the Switch Lite does not have motion controls. Also, one thing that the Switch Lite does not have that does affect gameplay, in my opinion, and one of the things that I don't like about it the most, is there is no HD rumble in the Switch Lite. So if you're playing games on the Switch and on the Switch Lite, like I've been doing the last couple days, you realize really quick that you missed that HD rumble. So yeah, no HD rumble in the Switch Lite and no motion controls. Also, another big thing about the Switch Lite is it does not play all of the games out of the box. Basically, the Switch Lite will only support games out of the box that support handheld mode. Which is most games. I mean, I'll be honest. There's very little games that the Switch Lite won't play out of box, but one that comes to mind, like just thinking off the top of my head, is 1-2 Switch. So out of the box, you cannot play 1-2 Switch on the Switch Lite. The one thing about the Switch Lite that it's missing, when you put everything together, it's just not quite as versatile as the regular Switch. The regular Switch has a whole lot more versatility than the Switch Lite. Another thing about the Switch Lite that people like to bring up is the screen size. Now, the regular Switch had a 6.2-inch 720p screen, where the Switch Lite has a 5.5-inch 720p screen. So the Switch Lite does have a little bit smaller of a screen, but to me, that didn't bother me that much when I was playing. Actually not at all, to be honest with you. I actually think that the games might look a little bit better on the Switch Lite because of the 720p screen being a little bit smaller. That's just my opinion on that. So the screen size really doesn't matter to me too much. But yeah, guys, that's basically like my overall view on the Switch versus the Switch Lite. And in my opinion, if you're going to get a Switch and you can afford it, I would go ahead and pick up the version 2 of the Switch that's out, the standard Switch, just because of the versatility of the console. But if you are on a budget and you don't have the $300, the Switch Lite is a very good alternative. Also, the Switch Lite is great if you're just looking for a handheld console. If you don't care about hooking this up to your TV or tabletop mode or any of that kind of stuff, the Switch Lite works great if you're just looking for a handheld console. So that's another reason why somebody would pick this up over a standard Switch. Or you could be like me, and it just fits the budget to have both. And I kind of feel like that's the best of both worlds, because now I can just keep my regular Switch docked on the TV at all times, and I can take the Switch Lite with me on the go, or just play with it in handheld mode. So yeah, guys, one more point that I kind of want to put out there, especially with the regular Switch, because I don't even know if they've released them for the Switch Lite yet. As I've told you earlier in the video, both of these systems are very thin. So playing for long periods of time, especially if you have decent sized hands, it can get a little bit tiresome. So I went ahead and I picked up one of these Switch grips. I know one of the most popular ones out there is the Satisfy grip. I haven't been able to try that one yet, but I do plan on it. But yeah, these grips really add a lot of bulk to the Switch and kind of make it feel like an actual controller, which I quite like a lot. And this one right here, I think this might have been a Hori, but I'm not exactly sure who made this. But if you can see, it has places in the back where you can store extra Switch cartridges, which is always kind of neat too. And you know, it basically just slides right onto the Switch, just like that. So now the Switch does have a whole lot more bulk to it, and it's easier to hold and play. Basically feels like a standard controller. Now it does add a little bit of weight to it, so that might affect your decision if you want to play with one of these or not. But for me, the pros way outweigh the cons. But yeah, guys, so that is how I play my Switch. So definitely, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching GBA and watching this episode of me talking about the Switch Lite and the differences between the two. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Do you have a Switch Lite? Do you have a regular Switch? Do you have both? Do you just not care about the Switch at all? I would love to hear your opinions on this. And do you plan on having multiple Switches like I do? Yeah, so guys, thanks so much for watching this. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.